Shalom friends! Today I want to continue the series of the stories of the Tzaddikim, and I'm going to speak about a great Tzaddik that lived about 80 years ago. His name was Rabbi Avraham Kook, who actually ended up becoming one of the chief rabbis of Israel. Earlier on in his life, when he was a young rabbi, he lived in a place in Lithuania called Zomel, and he was the rabbi of the community there. So very prestigious at the time, and everyone looked at him, a massive Talmud Chacham. One time it was Erev Shabbat in his neighborhood. Nearly everyone was keeping Shabbat, and there was a shoemaker. He was working hard the whole week, very hard to earn a living, you know, with a lot of tircha. And for several weeks he wasn't successful. He was barely making any money. And one Shabbat, it was coming close to Shabbat. It was coming in, and he left his shop open still, hoping there will be customers, and there was no customers. He was so embarrassed, this poor man, to go back to the house because he had no money, no candy to give to his kids, no drink, no chalot, no kiddush wine, nothing. So he was waiting for every last opportunity. Maybe someone will give him money. And the Shabbat entered, and in this town, the shop was still open, and he was outside there, absolutely devastated. And people were walking past from the community, religious people, and saying, "How dare this guy, what a chutzpah, he's over here, the shop is still open, it's Shabbat." And they came to the Beit Knesset where Rav Kook was in with his drasha, and they complained to Rav Kook, "Look at him, this guy b'chutzpah, he's outside the shop, it's still open, it's Shabbat now, b'chalal Shabbat, what a disgrace." So Rav Kook in his humility said, "Let me speak to him at the end." So at the end of the service, after he gave his drasha, after the Kabbalat Shabbat, he came up to this what seemed like a poor man and said, "Shabbat Shalom, how are you?" and greeted him with full of enthusiasm. And he says, "Do you need anything? Do you need any help or anything?" And the guy looked devastated and a bit embarrassed. And quickly the students of the Rav Kook went away, and this poor person, he came running to Rav Kook's house. And Rav Kook came to him with an enthusiasm and said, "Is everything okay? What's the matter? Is there a bad situation?" So the poor man, the shoemaker, said, "I have hardly any money to give my kids any food this Shabbat. No chalot, no wine, nothing, no candy. You know, it's a devastating situation. I don't want to be breaking Shabbat or anything, but I've got no choice." And so the rabbi gave him a blessing straight away and said to him, "From now on, you're not going to be short on any Shabbat that is going to come." So with enthusiasm, the shoemaker came to him and kissed his hand and said, "Thanks so much for the bracha, Rabbi," and run back to the house. The legend says that it was after Motzei Shabbat, Rav Kook himself, he took his very expensive silver candlesticks, which he used for Shabbat, and sold it off for a very high price, which it was worth, and then gave that money to this shoemaker and told him, "Look, I'm giving you this so that any Shabbat you're not going to be lacking, and you can have a bracha the whole week with your selling of the shoes also, and you're not one more Shabbat, you're going to be short of anything." And this is what apparently happened, and there wasn't a Shabbat again where anyone was desecrating the Shabbat in this town of Zomel in Lithuania. Everyone was keeping Shabbat, and this is the greatness of Rav Kook. He could have easily just given the bracha and saw the salvation will come from somewhere else, from another angle. But he wanted to have the schut of doing it, to helping the shoemaker. He saw the tircha from Motzei Shabbat and every Erev Shabbat. He was working so hard, and he saw that potential and the tircha, and he helped the person. And you know, if we see someone that is suffering and needs this help, you know, financially or even mentally, it's such an important issue, mental health at the moment across the world, we should give ourselves of our time or of our financial status. I'd like to wish this the Refuah Shlema Yosef Ben Edna, and I wish you all a fantastic day.